Hey guys, this is Fate over at Diablo3StrategyGuide.com. Today I'm going to be talking to you about one of the the most basic but very important concepts in Diablo 3, and that of course is the attribute movement speed. And you know, it might seem really basic to a lot of you people, but there's actually a couple things that I see that are constantly done wrong, and I even see some very basic mistakes made by level 60 Infernal players in Act 2 and Act 3. Alright, so the two things I'm going to go over are why you should have movement speed and how. And there are a lot of different situational uses for movement speed, so I'm going to try to cover those as well as I possibly can. Alright, so the three basic reasons why you want movement speed are for farming, kiting, and DPS. So farming, this is relevant for all 5 classes. And basically the idea is that the quicker you move, the quicker you can clear out areas. And this is true both for demon hunters and for monks, even though they are ranged in melee. The second reason is more applicable to range classes, and that of course is kiting. And so, just simply put, the quicker you can move back, scoot and shoot, move back, shoot, move back, shoot, just the quicker you can kill your enemies, as well as dodge projectiles, which is very, very important for range classes. And it might seem that DPS is not increased by movement speed, and it's true that the displayed DPS metric in your inventory does not increase your DPS. But if you are able to move back quicker, you can shoot at quicker intervals, which basically increases your DPS. So this means for range classes such as the Wizard or the Demon Hunter, they want to mix adding DPS with things like attack speed with movement speed. And so the second part I'm going to be going over is how do you increase it. And there's one very basic way to get most of your movement speed, and that of course is the boots. And so I'd recommend for all range classes the Witch Doctor, the Wizard, and the Demon Hunter to really max out that at 12%. Other classes I would definitely recommend it as well, but is not as essential. And so if you end up with boots that have 10 or 11 movement speed, it's not as big of a deal as the range classes, for instance. And so there are other ways to increase your movement speed even further, and a lot of players are surprised by this, but you can actually max out your movement speed at 25%. So there's no need to go beyond that 25%, but you can get it above the 12% that you can get from boots. And so you accomplish this through legendary and set items. And so there's two basic categories that these fit into, the cheap and the in-game. And so the cheap ones are the ones that maybe aren't great for farming Act 3, but are really, really nice to progress and to help you kite. And kind of one of the earliest ways people were able to progress through the game when they're under-geared is to really optimize that movement speed, as it's one of the few metrics that really helps you perform well under-geared, because it just allows you to maneuver and dodge projectiles very easily. And so some of the cheap gear are Lucuni Prowlers, the Unity Rings, and the Ina's Pants. Those are all very, very good to kind of progress through. Put those on for set bosses like Belial or Diablo, and they just really help to increase your overall mobility. And then there's kind of the in-game gear. And so these are items like Wanderlust, which is a great magic find ring, as well as Tyrael's Might, and there are several amulets that are also very good in the very end game. And so these are just very, very godly in-game gear, which is just pretty much top of the line. And so these are especially good for doing Act 3 farming runs, I would say. And when you're doing builds such as the Avatar build, where it's just imperative that you're able to kill as many enemies as quickly as possible, things like Tyrael's might really, really help to accomplish that. Alright guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video on movement speed. There's a lot of little small things. We also have a corresponding article to this, so please check that out at Diablo3StrategyGuide.com/movement-speed. And we're just producing a lot of good, free, and premium content for all of you guys, so please check us out.